Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into two of mythology's most incredible tales. These are stories all about faith, stone, and ice, where the divine shows up in the most unexpected ways imaginable.
You know, this ancient saying from Lord Shiva really sets the stage perfectly for what we're about to explore. We're going on a journey into two legends where the sacred isn't found in some grand temple, but in the unwavering belief of the faithful. So let's jump right in. Okay, so our first story kicks off in the ancient, sacred city of Kashi, which you probably know today as Varanasi. This is where a truly devastating crisis of faith unfolded, one that threatened to completely erase a god's presence from the city. Forever. So when the temple was physically demolished, the devotees were just shattered, you can imagine, right? They were left asking this single, desperate question. Had Lord Shiva really, truly abandoned his most beloved city? But, just when it seemed like all hope was lost, a divine message came through. It was delivered in a dream to an elderly priest named Bolanath. And this message made it clear. This wasn't the end. No, this was the beginning of a whole new kind of search for Shiva. This message, it wasn't just a small spark. It ignited a powerful quest. What started as one man's lonely mission quickly transformed into a massive community effort, leading everyone from the absolute depths of despair all the way to a miraculous rediscovery.
And when they unearthed that sacred idol, wow, it was so much more than just a discovery. It was this powerful, undeniable victory. It proved that true belief is way more resilient than any building of brick and stone, and it absolutely cannot be erased by force.
All right, so from a story of faith being rebuilt from rubble, we're going to shift gears. Let's travel high up into the Himalayas to this remote, icy cave that holds a totally different kind of mystery. One about immortality and a pair of very mysterious long-term residents.
So what's the big deal with this cave? Well, the legend all comes down to something called the Amarkatha, the secret story of eternal life. And it was a secret so profound that Lord Shiva intended for goddess Parvati and only Parvati to ever hear it.
To make sure nobody else could listen in, Shiva went to some pretty extreme lengths. But, as fate would have it, his divine secret wasn't just shared with one person. It was overheard by two very small, unintended listeners. On his journey up to the cave, Shiva basically started leaving his most powerful companions behind to act as guards. He left his bull, Nandi, at one spot, and even the moon from his hair at another. I mean, this was serious security. But despite all that caution, a pair of pigeons, hidden deep inside the cave, overheard the entire story. And in doing so, they became immortal. Okay, so fast forward a few centuries. The cave? Totally lost, forgotten. It was eventually rediscovered, but not by some great king or a wise sage. Nope. It was a humble shepherd, all thanks to a moment of pure chance. A simple act of kindness led to a gift of what he thought was coal, but it turned into gold. And when he rushed back to say thank you, the cave was revealed. The story of the cave is amazing, for sure. But its greatest mystery, the thing that still stumps people today, isn't about what was said there. It's about what forms there. It's a natural phenomenon that continues to just defy any simple scientific explanation. Okay, let's just do a quick science recap. It's pretty basic, right? For water to turn into ice and stay ice, the temperature around it has to be at freezing point, which is 0 degrees Celsius, or even colder. So here's where it gets really wild. During the summer pilgrimage season, which is when this ice formation is at its peak, the temperature inside the Amarnath cave is often above freezing. So you see the problem, right? This creates this incredible paradox that has baffled scientists and believers for, well, centuries. How in the world can a massive pillar of solid ice, we're talking 12 to 18 feet tall, not only form, but also just exist in a place that's technically too warm for it? And if you thought that was strange, hold on, because it gets even weirder. The size of this ice formation isn't random. It appears to be in perfect sync with the phases of the moon. It actually grows as the moon waxes toward full, and then it shrinks as the moon wanes, like this beautiful cosmic dance between ice and light. So let's just take a step back. We have two very different stories here. One is all about destruction and the incredible resilience of people. The other is about a natural wonder that just seems to transcend our understanding. But believe it or not, both of these tales are pointing to a single, really powerful idea. Think about it. Kashari teaches us that faith is this internal force, something that lives inside people, not in buildings. It can be rebuilt from total ruin by the human spirit. And then you have Amarnath, which shows us that faith can also be sparked by these grand mysteries of the natural world, things that are completely beyond our control or our ability to explain.
And that brings us to one last, really provocative thought. Whether we're talking about unearthing a lost idol from rubble or witnessing an impossible pillar of ice, these stories really challenge our whole idea of reality. They make you ask, are these just amazing legends, or is it possible that the line between what's real and what is believed isn't really a line at all? Maybe, just maybe, profound faith has the power to create a reality all its own.